Okay, article number two this week. According to a report on MTN Korea, Sony Interactive Entertainment is actively shopping around for fresh talent from Korea, with multiple studios now in discussion with the format holder. PlayStation console maker is chatting with various companies, including Pearl Abyss, NC Soft, Com2 US, and NeoWiz Games. Sony has previously forged a strong relationship with Chinese developer MiHoYo, the studio behind Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. Sony has secured a number of major deals over the past few years with major developers and has acquired some big players, including Bungie and Bluepoint Game, among others, which I think is perfectly placed based on the previous article. Do you see the West looking more towards the East now? With the ever escalating production budgets, does it make sense for
Well,
all of these developers to go East?
I think you got to understand again a lot of things that were covered in that court case last week. I mean, did you see the list? There's over 100 developers that Xbox wanted to buy, and they were stupid fucking names.
Mm,
Bloober Team. Why you want to buy Bloober Team? You know what I mean? Hey, like, no
mm,
thanks. Okay. And just level 5, no. But I think what Sony are doing is smart. They're not buying these companies. They're partnering with them. Like you look at
mm,
look at the deal for Square. Everyone says Sony should buy Square. Why? Don't need to buy Square. Why are you going to take all that overhead when you don't need to buy them? Just pay them a fuck ton of money to secure Final Fantasy. You know what I mean?
mm,
And things
yeah.
like that. Why pay billions when you can pay 80 million and have the game exclusive? Now you
Mm,
look at, I mean, Genshin Impact is perfect. Again, and this is what Sony have always been great at, especially since PS3. PS1, PS2, they did well, PS1 at the beginning, and then they got successful. Then they didn't really give a shit because everyone released everything on PS1 and PS2.
mm,
PS3, they got lazy and then had to reinvent themselves, which they did under Kaz Hirai in the second half of that generation. And then through PS4 and now they're stunning at it. And that's finding hidden gems. Nobody cared about Genshin Impact.
yeah.
Look at that $1 billion revenue generating every year game. You know what I mean?
Mm,
And it's just smart. I think Sony need to look at the East because they've already got the West wrapped up. They are dominating Xbox. I mean, it's not even a flipping fight in Europe. You know what I mean? It is
yeah.
not even a contest in Europe. And in America, yes, it is closer, not a thingy, but in the East, it diverses the portfolio a lot more. Sony can buy more third-party specialists and make more third-party narrative-driven games, and which
Yeah.
would eventually spurn off into TV shows, or they could do that. But Sony looked at the success of Genshin Impact and thought, no, 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 no.
Mm,
Yes, it cost us 200 million, but this game is making us like 30, 40 million every month. So
worth it.
I think it's smart to diverse that portfolio. But more importantly, Alex, as you know, it gives you a stronghold. Like ever since the China project started, PlayStation's the best-selling console outside of PC in China.
Mm,
Now they do. We spoke about it a few months ago, didn't we? They're doing a similar thing in India now
yeah.
as well, where the Indian project is starting, and obviously they're going to do something in Korea as well. And South Korea is huge for games. So, and NC Soft, big company, you know what I
Mm,
mean? And I think it's just very smart for Sony. And they don't sign these games to exclusive deals. It's just timed. Like Genshin was just timed, but
yeah.
Sony weren't dumb. They could have said PlayStation only, but when you do a game like that, like a live service, you have to get as many players in. So you go PC, which is what Genshin did, and that's what I honestly think that every Sony live service game is coming to PC and PlayStation, except Bungie. I think theirs are also going to come to Xbox as well. You know what I mean? So
So it says that they're shopping around for fresh talent. Like, do you think they're actually going for the actual companies themselves or actually individuals?
no, I think companies, I don't think you just go for an individual anymore because anyone can be great. You know what I mean? And if you put a lot of money and investment, then you're breaking it down even further. Like, what's that one person going to do without a team?
Hmm.
Where are you going to put him? You're not going to upset your status quo already. You're not going to bring someone into Naughty Dog and say, Neil, listen to him. You know what I mean? Like, that ain't
Yeah.
happening. I think the only developer you would even consider doing that for is Hideo Kojima, but he's a lazy bastard anyway. So, and he wants his name on everything. So there's no point of doing that. But
Yeah.
I just look at what Sony are doing, like going to the East now, like, and they're not just focusing on Japan. They have spread out. You're looking at those markets of Korea, India, and China, and Sony are looking so far ahead. People don't realize is what sort of games are they going to do? Hello, Sony are focusing on live service. Where better to release these live service games in footholds and strongholds where you are already massive? Korea, China, India, you know.
Yeah.
So they're Sony are spinning plates years in advance already, you know what I mean, and already looking further ahead, which is smart because they need to do that, and it opens a market. And if it works like it has in China, it's nothing but success for them.
Yeah, it's looking at just that come to US. I mean, they specialize in mobile games, so if you think that's going to
PlayStation
be a
Mobile.
push, yeah, yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.